Have you ever been through a difficult season and wondered, where is Jesus in all this? You pray, you listen, you read scriptures, but something still feels hidden, unclear, and distant. Well, you're not alone. In Luke 24, two disciples are walking away from Jerusalem and they're confused, they're discouraged and grieving. They had hoped that Jesus would redeem Israel, but now he was gone, or so they thought. And as they walk to Emmaus, Jesus himself comes near, walks with them, but they don't recognize him. It wasn't until he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to them that their eyes were opened. And only then did they recognize him. Isn't that stunning? Well, I want to share with you the secrets of that moment and how it relates to you. I like what it says in Luke 24, verse 30. And it came to pass, as he sat at the table with them, that he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished from their sight. Isn't that great? When I consider how often we experience Jesus, it's easy to imagine that he only shows up in the big dramatic moments, the mountaintop encounters, the powerful worship services, the intense prayer meetings where we feel his presence so strongly that it moves us to tears. Yes, Jesus indeed reveals himself in those moments. He meets us in our passion, our hunger, and our desperate cries. But there's something deeply profound and maybe even more intimate about how Jesus shows himself in the quiet, in the ordinary, in the everyday. Take the story of these two disciples walking to Emmaus in Luke 24. They were confused, discouraged, grieving. Their hopes had been crushed. Jesus died, disappeared when his tomb was found empty. And the one they believed in would redeem Israel had been crucified. Everything they believed was now in question. And as they walked away from Jerusalem, unsure to what to believe and trying to make sense of everything, they were processing loss, disappointment, and shattered expectation. Does that sound familiar? I know it does for me. And then Jesus joined them in the road. He walked alongside them, even though they didn't recognize him. Isn't that amazing? Jesus was right there and they didn't know it. He opened the scriptures to them and explained how everything pointed to him, from Moses to the prophets. He revealed truth after truth, but still, they didn't see him. They didn't recognize who was with them. And then everything changed. Not through a sermon, not through a miracle, or even his explanation of Scripture. It was during a meal, a simple, quiet moment. The moment they sat down to eat, Jesus took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and gave it to them, and their eyes were opened. That's when they really or finally saw him. And that's when recognition happened in the breaking of bread. Isn't that something? They didn't recognize him in the theology. They didn't recognize him in the teaching, but they recognized him in the breaking of bread. You see, the way Jesus broke bread is worth noticing. He didn't just tear the bread casually. He lifted it up to the Father. He gave thanks. He acknowledged the provision. He honored the moment, and then he broke it and distributed it carefully. That act of giving thanks, or what Scripture calls eulogio, is at the heart of communion. It's not just about remembering Jesus' body broken for us. It's about pausing to thank God, bless the moment, and invite him into the ordinary. In Christian tradition, this act is called the Eucharist, from the Greek word Eucharista, which means thanksgiving. And when we celebrate the Eucharist or take communion, we're doing more than a ritual. We're continuing the act of giving thanks like Jesus did, acknowledging God's greatest gift to us in Jesus Christ. It's sacred space where we remember his sacrifice and anticipate his return. We look back and we look forward, but most importantly, we pause to encounter him in the now. You see, when Jesus broke the bread and gave thanks, he was doing more than offering a meal. He was sanctifying the moment. He showed us that something as simple as bread can become a doorway to revelation. That's what made the disciples' eyes open. It was Jesus representing himself through something so familiar to them as well. And this is the beautiful truth I want to share with you today. Sometimes it's not the big moments of revelation that change us most. Sometimes it's the stillness, the pause, the quiet moment at the table, where we allow ourselves to slow down, to breathe, to be present with Jesus. That's when we see him. That's when we recognize him. When was the last time you really slowed down during a meal or a moment of communion or even in silence and invited Jesus into that space? Not rushed through it, not recited familiar prayers out of habit, but truly invited him in. We can be so focused on the big things, getting answers, finding a direction, and the breakthrough we need, but we miss the subtle ways Jesus shows up. But what if the moment of recognition is hidden in the simple things? What if the breakthrough happens when you pause, reflect, and take the bread and remember? Because just like he did on that road to Emmaus, he's still walking with us. He's still present in the stillness. He's still breaking bread. It's not just about experiencing Jesus in worship services or on spiritual mountaintops. Jesus longs to be known in relationship. He desires to meet with you in life's small, intimate, sacred spaces, at the kitchen table, in your quiet moment with him. When you're weary or hurting, or when you're unsure or doubting, he's there, in the quiet, in the ordinary, in the breaking of bread. And sometimes when we take the time to stop and breathe and give space to him to speak, we finally recognize him. And that's when the eyes of our heart are opened. And that's when the sacred and the simple collide and everything changes. So the next time you're sitting down for a meal and preparing to take communion, don't rush. Don't just go through the motions. Pause. Invite Jesus into the moment. Ask him, Lord, open my eyes, because in that moment of reflection and gratitude, you might recognize him in a way you've never seen before. The breaking of bread isn't just tradition, it's an invitation. It's a doorway to encounter. He's not far away. He's walking with you even now, and he's waiting to be known in relationship, in every step, in every breath, in the breaking of bread. Well, I trust this encourages you for more biblical insights into the mysteries of God's kingdom. Like, subscribe, and follow. God bless.